Hi there, I'm Alex D. We're continuing. We're almost, I guess, finishing this car mod, and it's time for some texturing work. And as you can see, the diffuse maps, the DDS files are fine and dandy, and the normal maps are not. And that's what we need VTF edit for. We'll start right away with importing this, not generating map maps. We don't need map maps right now. This is what we are going to see in VTF edit. This is at least, you know, this is something. Let's call it barrel. And continue importing all the normal maps. Export. It's flash. Front. It's front sight. Lower receiver. Lower. Magazine. Which is not a clip. A clip is a small, you know, clip that is holding several rounds of ammunition to for easier loading into your magazine, be it an integral internal magazine or detachable one. What was that? Rail cover. Rear sight. Normal scar stock. And the upper receiver. Upper. Okay, now we've done here for now. And it's time to do some Photoshop magic. As always, red is actually green and it's inverted, so I should select it, cut it, paste in the green channel and invert, and then cut the alpha channel and paste it into red and invert blue and alpha. So it goes like Ctrl A to select all, Ctrl X to cut, Ctrl V to paste, Ctrl I to invert, Ctrl X, Ctrl V, and now it's time to you see this round thing over here, or this one, or anything that gives you the idea how the shadows work. And it's supposed to be left to right, so it's black to white, and it's top to bottom, black to white. And we've just made a correct normal map, except we also need to invert the blue channel. We don't need to invert the alpha channel in my case, but because I'm going to use a completely different alpha channel in there, but it's fine. It's so I would actually see what's going on if I open it in AC/DC. Okay, rail cover now. Ctrl A, X, Ctrl V, I, Ctrl X, Ctrl V, Ctrl I, and Ctrl S to save. And what happens if I don't see it, because you know AC/DC is a bit gimmicky when it comes to alpha channels, and since the alpha channel is completely black, it means the picture is completely transparent and I see nothing in AC/DC. So let's invert this one and save. And this is what I'm seeing now in AC/DC, but sometimes you can actually see stuff happening, but I don't know. That's a weird program, but it's there, so whatever. Okay, close. What's the Control W is for closing, so let's do it even quicker. Flash. Control A, X, Control V, I, Control X, Control V, Control I, Control I, Control I, S, W. It can be very quick if you know what you're doing. Control AX, Control VI, Control X, Control V, Control I, Control I, S, W. Yep, I'm not going to check everything else just to save time. AX, VI, X, V, I, ISW. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, no more checking, I promise. X, VI, X, V, I, ISW. Rear side, AX, VI, X, V, I, ISW. It was rear side. Yep. AX, VI, X, V, I, ISW. And the upper receiver, AX, VI, X, V, I, ISW. That's it. That's pretty much it. Now let's check everything. Yep, this looks like the normal maps we're used to. And now it's time for DXTBMP. It was probably time for Photoshop as well, but I don't Photoshop really. So I'm just going to import new image to replace the actual color map and keep the alpha channel of this one. Maybe I shouldn't even do that because, you know, add-ons, materials. Maybe I can just change normal map alpha environment map mask to base map alpha environment map mask. Let's just check this right away. Maybe I'm doing extra work and taking extra space on everyone's drives, including mine, by the way. So let's just Google that. Okay, and map mask. Let's open this one. It redirects to an map mask. It will not work with materials using bump map. So this is not our case. Anyway. And map alternative. Base, alpha, and map mask. Use the alpha channel of the base texture as a specular map mask. Alpha channels work in reverse. Yes, this is why I don't use that. But transparent areas are reflective, opaque areas are matte. Well, Windows, yeah, this makes perfect sense. The alpha channel isn't inverted in the source, but the alpha channel is inverted for brushes. Okay, it's time to do some experiments, right? Let's keep this thing, but let's make some receiver textures first. Let's copy this material and rename it to scar upper. I think it was, yep, underscore scar underscore upper, yep. And let's replace bump map or normal map alpha environment map mask into base alpha env mask and save. And also rename this to scar upper save. And now let's try this thing. Let's try importing the upper receiver diffuse map, generate map maps right away. Save as Payday2 scar upper D, and this thing as Payday2 scar upper N, and see if it actually this is this many kilobytes big, large, and this is still the same size, so I would have to actually this does technically has an alpha channel, but I want it to be DXT1 for now, and save as this very file, and it's going to be twice as small as this one now. Anyway, yeah, this is how you can actually reduce the file size of your mod, if it even is going to work out. Now let's view as a replacement and see what the reflections look like. Okay, let me stop the animation quickly, center view, and what do we have here? I think that it's pretty reflective, and it shouldn't really be that reflective, at least. Yeah, that's way too reflective. So that must mean that it actually is inverted in this case. Let me try this thing. First things first, I am going to import this again and set alpha channel to DXT5, because I am definitely going to forget that in the future. Now minimize everything I don't need right now. DXT BMP. Upper receiver diffuse map, and replace this with scar, any image file in here, list, upper. Yeah, and now save that as upper again. Yes. And now I'm going to import this again, generate map maps. Now it has an alpha channel. This is pretty reflective, by the way, but we're going to see if it has any. Let's copy. Let's make a backup copy of that. Let's replace that. It's larger. Great. It shouldn't change anything right now. It does. It fucking does it right away. What? Excuse me. Phone, environment map, base alpha environment map mask. Ooh. Okay. Normal map, alpha environment map mask. Okay, it's normal map, and this is base alpha and map mask. Normal map, alpha and map mask. Okay, so I'm replacing base with normal map. Consistency. And now I can try and refresh this, and this looks exactly the same. What? I'm confused. Okay, let's what if I set it to, 0? Refresh. I don't get it. I am completely broken at this point. I have no idea what's going on. You know, things like this is why I'm saying you shouldn't treat my videos as guides. You should treat it as let's plays, but instead of playing, I'm modding. I'm not sure what's going on. This thing does nothing, like, at all. Let me just comment it out, like it's never here, and refresh. Well, I think I'm starting to kind of understand what's going on. This is the environment map, which is like, you know, reflections and not the actual fog, which actually is very dependent on the normal map. So I'm not looking for the environment map mask. I'm looking for what? Fog map? I'm looking for a fucking fog map. Fog. Vertex link generic. Masking. Bump map. Base map alpha fog mask. The fog will not be influenced by the bump map, however. Aha! Use base textures alpha channel as the fog mask instead of bump maps. Okay. In all games since 07. Great. Let's copy that. Okay. Keep it that way. Whatever. I want to add a line in there. I'm going to make it like this. And now I'm going to yeah, make it again. DXT1 alpha, and it has basically no alpha whatsoever because it's either 0 or 1. Let's replace it again. Let's now copy this one, replace it with a smaller file, and refresh. And nothing changed because I have removed the alpha channel from the normal map and made the material use the base maps alpha channel as the fog mask, and if I'm disabling that, it's going to use the normal maps again. So this is what I'm looking for. But what about the normal map alpha and map mask? Okay, I won't see the reflections in the model viewer, but I will see them in the game. In game, let's refresh again. Okay, that's more like it. So I can actually reduce the file size. I'll keep that for reference, for future reference, but okay, I figured something out finally about the materials. That's great. Let me quickly then import all the normal maps as DXT1 and then move on to something else entirely. Scar barrel D. Oh, it's not D, it's N, it's normal. It's a normal map. I should delete that already. I should delete the uppers already so that they won't get in the way. Cover. Scar cover. Why D? Ah, I'm an idiot. Flash. Save as flash N. side N, lower, lower, mag, mag, rear side, side, and the stock. Stock. Now I can start importing the diffuse maps with their alpha channels as DXT5. Barrel D. Flash. Front side. Front side. Lower receiver. Lower. It's not as reflective as the upper receiver because it's plastic mainly. It's polymer. The magazine is more reflective. The shiny near rail cover. It's not reflective at all. Almost invisible in this case. Rear side. Rear side. And the stock, finally. Finally we got them all. Stock. The stock is also mostly polymer, and this thing is tape, and tape is kinda shiny. And close. What we have here is a full set of textures. Now we need a full set of materials. Let's start scar stock, scar stock, stock, save, rear side, rear side, rear side, save, mag. I'm probably messing up the names in here, but we'll see that in crowbar. Crowbar helpfully shows us the names of the materials it's looking for, so I'm going to demonstrate how it can be messed up and how it can be easily fixed. Lower, lower, save, front side, up, front side, F side, F side. That's a lot of materials, but it's better this way than everything thrown in a single texture file, especially in a game with so many different modifications and attachments and all that. Is it cover? Is it supposed to be cover? I've been digressing again, so I haven't been paying attention. Barrel. Finally, we are almost done. Now we can close that. We can check if these things are twice as small as the diffuse maps with the alpha channels, which is nice, which is exactly what we want right now. And now let's refresh, and we have something messed up, like the barrel assembly, the sides, the grip. By the way, we don't have a grip right now. Okay, we'll get to it later. Neither we have the vertical grip. Anyway, we'll find it out later. And the laser sight. Okay, first things first. The barrel, the muzzle flash, and the sights. Crowbar says that barrel assembly. I called it barrel assembly because I'm an idiot. So this should fix it. Flash hider. Flash hider. Flash. Flash hider. Oh, no. Not that long. Flash hider. Flip rear, flip front. Okay. Flip rear. Flip oh. Flip front. Okay, great. This should be fixed now. Nope. Still something with the barrel. Oh, it's barrel assembly, of course. Now it should be fixed. And it looks great, at least in the model viewer, at least the Fong alpha map thing works out just fine. And I hope the reflection maps work out the same fine way. Now we need 3 extra. Oh my god, we need some more textures, which means it's Photoshop time again. Open with Photoshop. Okay, let's launch the Photoshop because of course we are going to do that. Alright. Let's delete that. And actually, no, let's not delete that. Let's restore these textures just in case and create a new folder. Let's call it scar. Let's throw it all in. No, not all. Let's delete that. We are not going to need these things anymore. Now this is 18. Yep, 9. We just deleted 9, so that's fine. Move it here. And I'm going to open a new folder and search for our new textures. The Hogue grip textures and the unpack textures. What else? Payday 2 base, the folding grip textures. Not the folding grip, the angled foregrip textures. And that should be it. That should be it. Let's rename the textures to DDS again. DDS. Now it's conversion time. Thanks to VTF edit, we can actually work these things out because everything else refuses to open these formats. And there's probably a tool for, you know, the diesel engine modding for conversion of these types. Maybe it's less painful than opening Photoshop and moving the channels around, inverting them and all that. But I'm doing what works. For now, it's fine. As long as it works, you shouldn't touch it, you know. Hogue. Peck. And oh, not this one. I want a normal map. And AFG. Yep. Now let's do our main. Oh no. 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 Sod off. AFG. AX. VI X V I. Okay, this looks great. Save, close. Actually, I can press Control for these channels, so it can be even faster than I am already already am. Let's try this. Control 3 AX 4 VI 6 X 3 V 5I 6I SW. Wow. You know what? Programs, utilities, all that. You can basically write a macros type of thing, a simple program that pretty much presses the buttons in the correct succession, in the correct order, and makes this. I should definitely do this. Anyway, VTF edit. Let's start with the normal maps and then set back to DXT5. Payday 2, AFG, and Hogue. Why am I not generating mip maps? I should be generating mip maps right now. AR15, grip, Hogue, normal. Now let's import this one again with the generated mip maps and save it here. Pack. Pack 15, normal. Now let's import the diffuse maps with DXT5 format. Save D. Hogue. D. And AFG. No, not this one. This one. AFG. AFG. D. Great. Now we have that. Let's move it here. Car barrel assembly, for example. What names do we have here? AFG, Pack 15, AR15 grip Hogue. Let's copy this one. It's kinda long. Yep, it's perfect. Excellent. Save. Copy. Pack 15. It's probably just Pack 15, right? Pack 15. Pack 15. You know, if this works out, then I'll probably reduce the file size of some of my Payday 2 mods. I'll just have to watch out and not do the same for Call of Duty models, because like in the Modern Warfare series and Black Ops and whatever else, it actually uses the alpha channel of the diffuse map as a mask for the camouflages. Okay, Pack 15, AFG, AFG, save. Now we should be fine. We're fine. We're good to go. We have our scar prepped and ready. Touch model flash, touch shell eject, shell and flashlight are in the same spots, that is fine. Let's get back to our view model. Move it slightly back and see the animations. Yeah, it's kind of visible that this thing's bolt face does not move, but I'm guessing y'all can forgive me for that. Yeah, well, that doesn't look too great, but there's nothing I can do except, you know, a complete change of animation set, which would upset Denny, upset me, upset everyone else, because the scar with an folded with an angled foregrip, it obviously should go on these kind of animations, unless somebody wants to change them or make completely a new set, which isn't happening, at least for now. So please be content with this, because, well, you probably won't notice this a lot when you're actively destroying zombies in the game. You don't have an OCD, stop saying that. So even I don't have an OCD, and I'm very attentive to details. So stop pretending you have some issues. Close. Okay, now we have a complete set of textures and a fully working view model, at least as far as the model viewer goes. Gun AK Payday 2 scar, enter. We don't need scripts for this one. We're going to change that into AK Payday 2 Eagle Heavy Fabrique Nacional Scar H. Let's be more specific and mark 17 Scar H with Magpul AFG Hogue pistol grip. What else? Unpeg 15. I'm not going to mention the rail cover. What else do we have here? Center view. The Magpul magazine loop. No, that's a magazine device, so that's not a real modification to an actual rifle, because, you know, the magazines are replaceable. So I've mentioned everything I should have mentioned. The standard barrel, well, it's a standard barrel, so I'm not going to mention it. The rail cover is a minor detail in this case. So Hogue grip and the folding foregrip and the laser designator. I guess that's good enough for the description of this thing. And unpack 15 from Payday 2 on Mr. Brightsides. I think it's his animations. We're going to shorten the word animations to animes because edited by Denny. Yep, kinda like this. Okay. View models. Let's get this over with. V rifle AK. Close. Materials. Icons should be deleted from here. Models. Payday 2 Scar. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to keep this in here for a while. Okay, what am I missing? I am missing a sign for, you know, signs, the Whitaker shop. So yeah, I'm going to make a new folder called signs and make one. What are we going to say here? Something funny or something, you know, real, actual? 762 is great, that's what we need. TW sent MT. That's a lot of fonts I have. Most of them are garbage. And I don't know where they came from. Should we use condensed or the normal font? We'll see, I guess. It's gonna be 24. FN is gonna be bold. Scar H. Unless I want to add, you know, Mark 617 in here, I don't have to use condensed. Even in that case, I'll run out of space, so I'm removing the Scar H, the Mark 17 part, and making it a normal font, and that's fine. Now I'm going to remove the reference, make it fully opaque, keep the same price, and add something trivial in here, probably with a condensed font, but we'll see about that. Let's put the caps lock on with centered, a Magpul AFG, and Hogue grip. Actually, since there's gonna be several of those rifles, I'm going to use the normal font this time. Since there's gonna be several completely identical rifles, it's going to mention that all of them have Hogue grips and Magpul AFGs, and they all have, you know, tape on their stock. This identically messed up barcode, absolutely identical magazines for every single one of those guns, and this lettering, this just works. This is why in video games you should make generic guns for the players to actually customize them themselves, like adding stickers, tapes, camouflaging, and all that. And instead, in some games, we have, like, you know, a dozen people running with completely identical rifles, heavily customized ones with charging handles by some third-party fancy-ass magazines, custom stocks, I don't know, some markings, completely identical markings and whatever. But some of them have the suppressor, some of them have the red dot side, and so on and so forth. So this customization kind of thing is kind of lost, because you can have this pretty unique scar edge, but you can add a red dot side on it and fold the iron sights as a result, but you'll still have this unique angled grip and the rubberized hog grip and this painted over magazine and all that. And your friend can run the same rifle but with a different sight, and this doesn't make a lot of sense. This just doesn't. Anyway, yeah, this is where we are. So we have to kind of lampshade it here. Now we need to rotate it 3 degrees exactly and center it like this or like this. Not exactly a perfectionist, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's save it as save it here. Probably Gunshop AK-47. Oh, I forgot to disable caps lock, so it's gonna be like this. Save, flatten, close. I don't need that anymore. I want VTF edit, and I want my gun shop sign. Save it with the same name, and place it over here in the signs folder. Now I have a custom gun shop sign for my custom model. At least it doesn't change scripts, so I can safely replace these signs, unless you guys use some kind of realistic signs or whatever. But then again, you probably shouldn't be using different models for the guns. Who knows? Every person is different and unique in their choices, so you can, some of you probably run completely vanilla games with some subtle changes like the aforementioned realistic gunshop signs, some different HUD, but all the default models, maybe with the different sounds, maybe with their animations, maybe a completely different model but on default animations, and maybe your game is actually modded to completely unreachable levels, like you wouldn't even guess that's L4D2 anymore, because it's so much different from what Valve gave us in the first place. Okay, what we are lacking right now is the world model, and we're pretty much done, unless we want to also cover the sounds, and I do not want to cover the sounds. Fuck that. Sounds can wait. Because that would make me either cutting the converted video into the sounds I could use, or trying to figure them out from the game assets, which is kind of tedious, so nah. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is open our basic Scarage and unhide everything, and now save as something else. Save as world Payday 2 Scar. And now I'm just gonna delete everything that I'm not going to have here, like the long and short barrels, the bullet, no, the bullet can stay, the extension, the flash hiders, the flip down sights, the grips that aren't hook grip, the pack box that's sitting on an extended rail, and the sniper stock. And this is our basic Eagle Heavy. Am I going to save that now? I am not going to export these as separate body groups because, well, the world models aren't such a big deal as the view models. They only have like 2 bones. It's usually up to 2 bones, really. So what I'm going to do now is I am making uh, a replacement for the AK-47 rifle. So what I'm going to do now is, you guessed it, find the model SMD, but you didn't guess which one. It's going to be M16. It's going to be the M16. And why is that? That's pretty simple. You might have noticed that, you know, the new Left 4 Dead 2 guns, which weren't featured in Left 4 Dead 1, don't have detachable magazines in their world models. That's because they are weighted to, well, nothing in particular. And this one is a model from Left 4 Dead 1, completely ported, completely unchanged, and it has weapon bone, which is, you know, the main bone, and weapon bone clip, which is the magazine bone, which the Left 4 Dead 2 models just don't have. They are uh, skinned to something else entirely. So this is the reference we are going to use. Also, it's an AR-15 thingy, and the scar is pretty close to this design. Is this 000? Yep, it's 000. Everything is 0, 0, and 0. Let's just rotate that. Scale it down to 40. I think it was 40 in our view model. Or was it 42? Let's try and make it the same here. X should be 0 and move it over here. It's kind of large. Or is it? It looks okay, I think. We should check that in a different viewport. Right. The important thing is the magazine and the grips. It's alright. The magazine is fine. That's a much wider magazine anyway. And the handguard, well, I should probably try the bone trick. Wow, this is gonna be interesting. I might wanna try the bone trick. Let's try the fucking bone trick. So that there would be less clipping, although there's gonna be clipping with the laser sight anyway. Now we are not going to use the bone trick now. Speaking of bones, it's not speaking of bones actually, but I don't know why I said that. Whatever. No, we're not going to use the bone trick right now. What we're going to do is save, and let's look at how our view model looked like. We have beginning of our AFG, at the middle of this first cut in, and we have 2 here. So let's do exactly that for consistency reasons. While it can be inconsistent with what the Payday 2 game has, we are trying to be consistent in L4D2 and not Payday 2. This isn't a video about making a mod for Payday 2, so and this is, yep, this is perfect. This is just like in our view model, and this is what we are going to make. Anyway, let's rename, let's add an extra underscore to mag and bullet. Sort by name. Now we don't really need this thing anymore, but I'm going to save right now. I'm going to skin this to the weapon bone. Weapon bone. And this is gonna be weapon bone clip. And now we're gonna save and delete the original reference. I've probably covered that before, that if you don't delete the original reference and just refuse to select it here, it's still going to be there. File saved. Okay. Now what we need is this folder. It should have W rifle. Oh, that's gonna take a while. Yeah, QC file. Let's rename it to Payday 2 Scar. Copy our materials folder over here. This is Payday 2 Scar. This is AK-47. Let's delete the collision model and the key values. Keep the sequence. It needs at least one sequence. And we're going to see and change the attachment points. And that's pretty much a perfect QC file. Decomp is for decompile, but it's kinda lost by now. Payday 2, Payday 2, Payday 2. Scar. Compile. Warning. Interesting. Okay, you already are warning me that I have messed something up. But we'll see it in game. We'll see it in game. Okay, for now, let's use in view. Let's see if it actually works. It does. It has all the textures. And let's see the attachment points. Muzzle flash should go back a little. It's this, I think, -2. -2 is fine. Let me just -2. Shell is, it's probably okay. Yeah, shell is okay. And flashlight is not okay. Flashlight is definitely not okay. Flashlight should this is rotated like 0, 0, 0, so red one is X and it's going to go -1 or something like that. -1. Okay, let's keep it that way for now. Green should go up. If this thing was the flashlight, it should go like 2 up, and this is like -10, -8. Oh, -8. Yep, kinda like this. -7.5. No, -8. -8 it is. Okay, fine. And now let's make it beautiful. Let's -1.5. Nope. 3. 3 is fine. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Yep. -7 and 8. 7 and 7. 7 and 8. Okay. And this should be kinda centered by now. Nope. It should get a bit lower, like 2.1. Yeah, much better that way. Okay, let's copy that, paste, and recompile. We saved that. Let's recompile now. It's still warning us about a normal map and base app alpha and mask. Must use normal map to get specular. Very interesting, but we'll see what it means. We can close that and just press go to. Okay. Now I have both models, all the textures, the add-on info. That's pretty much a complete mod, except you know what? I haven't made a preview image. And while we're here, we should probably make it. Textured, print screen. That was fast. Oh, yeah, sort of like that. Now resize, canvas size, duplicate, make it full white, make a fully black layer, blur, max out brightness and contrast, paint it Viridian, delete, blur again, ta-da. Now our background with bubbles, and it's an AK, great, done. Payday2 eagle age. I wonder if they are going to make an eagle light at some point. Probably not, but who knows. What else? This is done, and now we're going to pack our compile and test it in game. Let's drop it into our items folder and launch the game. The game is going to launch in the window mode now. Well, it does, so I should... Okay, whatever. Oh, it's going to take a while to load because I have a shit ton of my HUD icons subscribed to, because I'm going to remove them. I'm not going to remove them, but rather move them elsewhere. This is going to cost me 100 more add-ons from the workshop, and this is actually great. Much easier to juggle around in this mess. I mean, would you look at that? Oh, profile. I have almost 500 submissions, and do you know any other modder that has this many submissions? Unless you know they're Garry's Mod dupes and all that cheap stuff. And by cheap I mean cheap, because you know the HUD icons or HUD scripts in my case, they aren't too great of mods. Just try finding something in my workshop. I mean, my latest mods aren't HUD icons, but still HUD script, HUD script, HUD script. And you know, a couple of pages earlier they were just scripts all around, just icons. Now I've moved to something else, but it's still kinda messed up. A lot of mods in there. Okay, we're done loading, so I can cut each other. And what I'm going to do now is check for... Okay, what do I have here? Okay. Is this M16? Yeah, that's M16. This. And nothing else. Great. Let's start the Tomb Tara map. This loading screen is just perfect. A breath of fresh air into that, you know, old picture. I don't know what's more cancerous, this abomination or this untextured thing, or just an error sign. Okay, what do we have here? By the way,
time to get some revenge.
If you guys were worried about the Javelin mod, it's an actual
assault rifle.
Javelin mod. At high FOV settings you can actually see that there's nothing at all happening
Everybody
when the gun
grab
is
a weapon.
reloaded. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We are here for our AK.
Guns here.
It's kinda shiny, but I guess it works. It's not any shinier than whatever else I had previously. Do I have any? Yeah, I have my Zig right now. I can actually see some reflections in its base. And I don't mean the scope lens. I mean, I can see a reflection happening there. I see something bright orange. So this has the fog and the reflections.
Weapons over here.
Probably shouldn't have. But let's see how our new mode actually works.
Taking the rifle.
Well, it does work, at least. And I do see some reflections. I do see something bright orange in there. And some, you know, lines. I don't know, checkers, whatever. Even though Crowbar warned me that it probably doesn't work, it does work. It does ultimately work. And that's just great. The shell ejection works. I was worried about it for a bit. Remember how I didn't see an attachment name in the event? But it works. It ejects shells. Okay, it's kinda missing the clip locked sound. I should recompile with the clip locked sound. Let's try something on the move. Okay. Now this thing just misses the clip locked sound, and it's basically a complete and ready for release model. Yep. Okay, change character. As you can see, the magazine is actually detached from the rifle, which is nice. The angle grip kinda clips inside the fingers, but so does the laser sight, so it's not a big deal, all things considered. Okay.
We have guns here!
So I therefore declare this mod ready for... Well, we just tested it, so I'm not sure if this should be called testing. But it's probably gonna be called screenshot taken. And this thing is ready for release. For you to rate it up or rate it down. Or, I don't know. It's been a while since somebody stole my mods. Most of the guys that do so actually mention me in the credits, which is nice, which is exactly what I want you to do if you use my work in your modifications or whatever. And when you don't do so, it makes me upset, mad, batshit insane, and whatever. But okay. There is nothing a good old DMCA complaint can't fix, so do not steal my shit. Actually,
I'll take this one.
did you know that Kreisig, however it's pronounced, made a couple of compact 5 SMGs for the MP5 slot and the silenced SMG as well? But there is nothing
Weapons over here!
nothing like that for the Uzi slot, so I'm planning an MP5 with a regular barrel and a handgun with a flashlight, because of course. This one has a retractable stock and this one has no stock whatsoever, so I'm using a solid stock. And it's gonna be pretty much a nice match for these things. And I'm going to use the same animation. And I'm going to use both this reload animation with an HK slap and this shorter one they work together pretty well. But I'm not sure if this is going to be my next mod or should it be something else. No idea, no clue, but stay tuned. By the way, I kinda want to make, well, not a HUD icon. This is gonna look ridiculous, and I'm not sure if I can find a nice reference for that. But I could make a,
Got a grenade launcher.
you know, the grenade model for that, so that instead of a 40mm grenade, it would actually fire a missile kind of thing with smoke and everything you like and hate so much, because somebody hated when I updated my RPG to have some smoke. But I'm not really a fan of that either, but that's the best I can do if I wanted to be more realistic than this kind of smoke. It kind of makes the computer lag a bit. Not the computer, it's an engine thing, but anyway, it's the best I can do right now. And the sound, the firing sound, I'm not sure about the reloading sounds, but I could totally change the deploy sounds to that of you know, the Modern Warfare series, and the firing sound and the rocket. And it's probably gonna be one add-on for this add-on to actually be of much more value than it is now. By the way, this appears to be a world model, so it's kinda low poly. Anyway, as a nice touch, you can actually see hands holding the javelin at a very high FOV, but this is the same kind of FOV where you can see that the reload is kinda this kind of thing. So why the guy even bothered with the hands holding the gun? I don't know, because I didn't bother when I made my minigun. The hands weren't the point of the mod anyway, and there is not much point in holding a giant ass minigun with, you know, 2 pistol grips like this and let the rest of it just hang in there. Anyway, back to my mod, which is ready. Taking the screenshots and uploading, and I'm happy this was almost painless. Took me 3 hours to complete this mod. Oh, it's not 3, it's 4. It's 4 videos, an hour each, more than an hour each. So this took a while, and this is the kind of I don't know how it's pronounced, euphoria that consumers can't really get, because I'm a creator and I have created something that works and brings tears to my eyes. Also, do check out this thing. This is amazing, man. This is how I wish I reloaded my air guns if I weren't afraid of breaking them, because, you know, they are kind of weak. They are not made of steel and they break easily, comparatively, of course. Okay, that's it for today. Stay tuned for this mod's release, and see you around next time.